The year was 1989. Arcades buzzed with excitement. Kids crowded around, their eyes glued to the glowing screens. But in a dimly lit room, two titans clashed in a different arena. Rocky and Mr. T, the best of friends, were locked in a heated battle in Warcraft 2. They met at their local arcade, bonding over their shared love for gaming. Now, their rivalry was legendary. Trash talk filled the air, punctuated by the furious clicking of mice.
I pity the fool who steps into the ring with Clubber Lang.
Mr. T, mohawk gleaming in the dim light, favored the brutal orcs. Rocky, eyes focused, commanded the noble humans.
It ain't over till it's over, T.
Rocky, unfazed, rallied his troops. He launched a desperate counterattack, his griffins soaring through the pixelated sky. The tension in the room was palpable. Their rivalry was fierce, but it was built on a foundation of respect. Win or lose, they remained the best of friends. At least that's what Rocky kept telling himself. The tide of the battle turned. Mr. T, a cunning strategist, outmaneuvered Rocky. His demolishers, unstoppable juggernauts of destruction, smashed through Rocky's defenses. The air filled with the sounds of battle, the clash of swords, the roars of orcs, the crackling of spells.
You're going down, Rock.
Mr. T's voice was thick with victory as his orcs swarmed Rocky's last remaining stronghold. Rocky, his face pale with defeat, watched helplessly as his base crumbled. He had never lost to Mr. T before, and the defeat hit him hard. It wasn't just a game to him, it was a matter of pride.
That's it, T. I'm done.
Rocky muttered, pushing back from the computer. He stood up, his shoulders slumped, the glow of the monitor casting long shadows across his face.
Come on, Rock, don't be a sore loser.
But Rocky was already gone, leaving Mr. T alone in the dimly lit room. Rocky walked home, the weight of defeat heavy on his shoulders. He'd never felt so defeated, so lost. Maybe he wasn't cut out for this. Maybe Mr. T was right. He was just a washed-up has-been.
Yo, Rock, hold up!
A familiar voice jolted him out of his thoughts. It was Phil, his old friend and confidant. Phil had seen him at his lowest, had always been there to pick him back up.
What's eating you, kid?
Phil asked, concern etched on his face. Rocky poured his heart out, the frustration and shame spilling out. He told Phil about the defeat, about his decision to quit gaming.
Listen to me, kid. You got knocked down, but you ain't out. You just need to train harder, smarter. You need to dig deep and find that fire again.
And so began Rocky's training regimen. Days turned into nights as he immersed himself in the world of Warcraft 2. He studied strategy guides, memorized unit stats, and practiced his micromanagement skills until his fingers bled. He traded his Walkman for a cassette player, blasting Survivor's Eye of the Tiger on repeat. He replaced cheesesteaks with protein shakes. He even started jogging up the art museum steps just like in the movies. The day of the rematch arrived. The air in the room crackled with anticipation. Mr. T, confident and cocky, was ready to claim his title as the undisputed champion of Warcraft 2. He had even brought his lucky sweatband. But Rocky was different this time. He was focused, determined, his eyes burning with a newfound intensity. He had trained for this moment, and he was ready. He was not just playing to win, he was playing to prove something to himself. The battle began. Both players fought with skill and ferocity. Armies clashed, heroes fell, and the fate of Azeroth hung in the balance. The crowd gathered around, their eyes glued to the screen, their cheers echoing through the arcade. Rocky, channeling his inner strategist, unleashed a devastating combination of spells and attacks. His micromanagement was flawless, his timing impeccable. He outmaneuvered Mr. T at every turn, slowly but surely gaining the upper hand. Then, in a final glorious push, Rocky launched an all-out assault on Mr. T's base. The screen exploded in a cacophony of light and sound. When the dust settled, only one champion remained. Rocky had done it. He had defeated Mr. T, reclaiming his title as the King of Warcraft 2.
I quit. You've earned it, Rock. You're the best.
Rocky, exhausted but exhilarated, couldn't help but smile. He had faced his fear, his doubt, and had come out stronger on the other side. He had learned that true victory came not from beating an opponent, but from conquering oneself.